Yo, what's good guys, Gabe CFN here, and today I'm going to do a video covering all controller settings. I'm going to show you guys some tricks, some stuff that no pros would ever leak. And I'm going to tell you guys to forget everything you've watched on YouTube about controller, because I was scrolling through YouTube and those guys knew nothing. It was just bullshit. It gave me a headache, let me tell you that. So I've been playing this game for 5 years on the highest level, and I have a lot of experience I want to share with you guys. And let's get started. I'm going to divide this video into categories, so you can skip to whatever part you'd like, and let's get started. So first, we're gonna cover a question that people ask me all the time. They'd be like, Gabe, I play non-claw, no paddles. Should I switch to claw or paddle? Yes, 100%. So claw and paddles are two ways you can optimize your controller movements. So I strongly recommend for you to use those, because the main objective is that you're not gonna leave your finger off your analog sticks. You're gonna keep your fingers at all times here, so that makes it a lot easier to take walls, because you don't have to, back and forth, and it's gonna help your stiffness. You're not gonna be stiff, you're gonna be smooth. And what else? It's gonna optimize aim assist as well. I'm gonna explain that later to you guys. But yes, I strongly recommend claw. I don't recommend that much, because you have to play this way. This is what claw is. And sometimes it can, hurt your fingers. And I don't recommend that. I recommend paddles 100%. So yeah, this is my controller. It has 4 paddles in the back and 2 extra on the top. I use all of them. So this one I use to edit, this one to reset, and the other ones I'm going to show a picture so you guys can see it on the screen. And yeah, it's very optimal. And I also use these high sticks right here, because it makes everything so precise. And you can higher your sense and still be precise. And one thing I wanted to tell you guys, I know there are a few controller players and a few controller pros that play non-claw, no paddles, but I promise you they'd be so much better if they played claw or paddles, because they'd be a lot faster. They wouldn't have to move their fingers that much, and it makes everything easier. Alright guys, so let's talk about sensitivity. So many people ask a lot about this. So these are my current settings. I'm going to go in depth a little bit. So, if you're new to the game, or if you don't play this game that much, I strongly recommend you to go 35-35, look horizontal and vertical. Because with this sensitivity, you can pay attention to your crosshair placement. You can just be ready for the shots. Your SMG aim is going to be perfect. There was a point I played 32-32. It was when I played comp full time, and now I'm playing creative. I went up to 43-43. But you guys need to remember, every control is different, and when you guys have a high analog stick like this, you guys can have a higher sense, because it's easier to control it. It's a lot more precise. And this is my controller. So I have a Razer Wolverine, I think it's V2, with 8 paddles, and I have one of these high sticks. So I really recommend you guys using this. The highest, the better, because it's gonna be more precise, and you can move like a keyboard and mouse player. Another question about sensitivity I get all the time is, should I play linear or Expo? I say linear is a lot better, because you have a better muscle memory. You can hit flicks. Your edits are gonna be more consistent. Everything's gonna be more consistent. So I know there are a few pros that play on Expo, but most of them, when they switch, they become a lot better. So linear is on top. Another thing I want to talk about muscle memory is I use 2.0 X and 2.0 for edit mode, build mode, and edit mode, because it helps a lot, because it's basically doubling your speed when you're editing and building, and that helps with your muscle memory. You're gonna mess up a lot less. Some people use 2.5, which is valid, or 3.0. if they can control their movements. But I use 2.0. I like it slow and smooth. The same thing goes for horizontal speed and look vertical speed. I like it the same way. Some people use a little bit different, but I don't recommend, because muscle memory is everything in this game. The more you play, the more it's going to be in your memory. The more you're going to get used to it. Another question I get is, Gabe, why do you use turning boost ramp time? So I use it as 0.04 seconds. So that means that it's going to help me a lot with the long range shots. It's more precise. Lane is really bad for when people are really, really far. And this helps a lot to be more precise when aiming from very far away, more than 200 meters. Let's talk about something very, very important now. It's called dead zones. As you guys can see right here. Dead zones. And right here. So Gabe, why do you use such a low dead zone? Guys, it helps a lot with the aim assist. Aim assist on lower dead zones are different. And I'm going to explain to you guys. I'm going to invite somebody. Let's see who's on. Let's get Chazberry in here. As you guys can see, I barely have my hands on the controller. And with a lower dead zone, it's just falling for me. I don't have to do anything. But if I go here, I go to... Let's put a high dead zone. Let's see how it goes. If I put 15, 15... Let's see. Let's see if the same thing happens. As you can see, it does not happen. I have to manually follow to have aim assist. So that's why a lower dead zone is a lot better. And some people say, Gabe, I have stick drift. I'm always like walking like this, or I'm always moving. Guys, that helps. That actually helps, because how aim assist works now is Fortnite understands that if you're moving like this, and you're moving your analog, both analogs, you're going to have a stronger aim assist because you're trying to move. If you're standing still, you're not going to have any aim assist. So that's why it's important to have a lower dead zone, so the game thinks you're always moving, always trying to aim, and it's always going to help you. And guess what? People talk a lot about Zens, and that's exactly what a Zen does. And let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about this beautiful thing right here that everybody talks about it. Is it cheating? Is it not cheating? What does it do? We'll analyze everything. To record this, I had to get another controller because it doesn't work with my Razer one, and I don't really know how to play with a regular controller, but I'll show you guys everything. So I have this Zen right here connected to a premium script that people sell for over $50, and let's see the hype about it. So what happens is, as I explained to you guys, with the low dead zone, it makes, you have a stronger aim assist. What a Zen does, it shakes your screen like this. So it pretends that you're constantly moving your left stick and your right stick as well. So like, it looks like this. Always when you're aiming, it looks like you're going, up, down, up, down, up, down. And when you build, it looks like this when you build ramps. And that's how you know when people are Zenning. When their screens shake like this, that's how you know they're Zenning. So let me show you guys. Let me open on controller analyzer so I can show you guys the movement. So as you guys can see here, I have anti-macro open, and this shows the right stick movement. So look, as you guys can see, it's showing there. So if I press the L2, which is the aim button, this is what happens. It goes in a circle movement like that. And the R2, it goes as well. So what does it do? It literally has the same exact effect as a low dead zone, because it pretends, it simulates that it's always moving. So you have a buff in aim assist. So I'm going to tell you guys, so what does a Zen do? As it simulates, it's going to buff aim assist for people with high dead zones. If you have low dead zone, it's not going to help at all. And so that's why some people say, oh, it helps me. And some people say, it doesn't help me. So I really believe Zen is overrated. People talk way too much about it. If you have low dead zones, you're going to have the same exact effect. Now we're going to talk about anti-macro, which is a way to use scroll wheel on controller. Do I think it's cheating? No, I actually do not think it's cheating, because I've seen posts made by people that work for Epic Games, and they said that it's totally fine to remap your controller to keyboard binds and vice versa. So some people use, actually 90% of the people that play keyboard and mouse, they bind their movements to controller binds. So why can't we use a keyboard bind on controller? So this is what it does. So some people use, an example, D-pad. They put mouse wheel down, advanced, no delay, and this is what happens, guys. So when you're editing, you can edit and it resets, just like keyboard, like this. Does it help? Yes, it does help. It helps in some situations, like when you need to reset really quick. You know, it's a huge advantage that keyboard players have, that controller players can have too. And you're not gonna get banned for this. You're really not. Do I use it? I've used it a couple of times. I don't use it frequently because sometimes, you know, for box fighting and stuff like that, it messes you up because you get stuck in an edit. But if you want to use it, it's totally fine. It's not cheating. And yeah. So for you to use it, you have to remember to bind your keyboard right here to reset and build an edit to mouse wheel down or up, and use the same bind for the anti-macro. Some people also use anti-macro to pick up. So you go right here, you put, you know, in your pickup bind. In this case, I'm going to use D-pad. I go mouse wheel up, turbo, delay all the way down. So then you go to your keyboard settings. You put here, use mouse wheel up. So then when your guns are here, when you drop and you go for 50-50s, you can pick up all your guns, everything really quick by just holding the button like this. Look, I'm going to hold this. It's going to pick up everything. See? It doesn't matter if you're 40 ping, you're always going to be the first one to get the guns. Like this. It's really OP. It's not bannable. Do I recommend? It's up to you guys. And it's also important to remind you guys that you do not lose aim assist when you're using mouse wheel up and down. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. Because if you touch your mouse in game, you're going to lose aim assist. But mouse wheel up and down, it doesn't. Last but not least, let's talk about binds. So as you guys know, I play paddles. And I change my binds all the time, to be honest. But I don't change the way I edit. I don't change the way I move with my controller. I change the binds and I remap them to my controller. So it's the same thing. So there's been a bug going on for many seasons now. And it's, if you touch your mouse or if you touch your keyboard, you lose aim assist for the rest of the game. And I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. So I'm going to a custom matchmaking game. And I'm going to land tilted. And I'm going to show you guys how to fix it. So as you guys can see, I'm in the game. And I'm going to touch my mouse. So that means I'm going to lose aim assist. I'm going to have no slowdown on them. You guys see it? I have literally no aim assist. So what I do is, before the game, I disconnect my mouse. Because if I touch my desk or any movement that's detected from the mouse, you lose aim assist, as you guys can see. But how do I do to fix it? It's really simple and nobody knows about it. So one thing to do to fix it, it's really simple and not a lot of people know about this. You just touch your keyboard. Touch it once. And then you have aim assist again. Look, as you can see, there's a huge slowdown. Look. If you touch it one more time, you're gonna lose it. But if you touch once again, you have it. Simple. So these are my full settings. As you guys can see, these are end game settings. These are sensitivity, audio, keyboard. So this is the controller binds that I use. It's important to say that this helps with a shit ton of delay. If you don't even have to use this button, but if you bind it to a switch mode and edit, you get a lot less delay when editing. So this is important. And also, I like to use generic for creative and PlayStation for in-game. I've noticed that in-game, PlayStation, you have less input delay, and for creative, generic, you have less input delay. So this is it, guys. So if you guys like this video, make sure to drop a like and sub. I'm going to do a guide for comp and for creative. So stay tuned. Use code GabeCFN, the item shop. Talk to you guys later. Peace.